Between its formation in 1969 and 2000, the ABF paid out almost 5.5 million in assistance to ad agency people and continues to do so on a daily basis. The ABF, the Vital Support Fund, developed to help advertising, marketing, communications and media people that have fallen on hard times, is engaging with various agencies to communicate its benefits and raise its profile. Giles, if someone doesn't know what the ABF is, can you take us through what it is and what's the purpose of it?
Right. Well, very simply, it's positioning Vital Support Fund, really puts it squarely into position. It's a crisis relief fund for people in those industry sectors, advertising, marketing, media, communications, who've fallen on hard times and have gone further than that and have gone into crisis. What does crisis mean? It means I need money and I need it now. If I don't have money now, then something really dire is going to happen, like I can't feed my children tonight, or they're going to repossess my car tomorrow, or something of that nature. So it's really about getting cash to people who are in an urgent crisis situation.
But give us examples of the crises that you've dealt with.
Well, it's important to remember that the ABF is a discretionary fund, it's not an insurance fund, and the cases that we get vary dramatically. We've had people one guy in particular who's a top creative director of an agency, got advanced Parkinson's disease, couldn't work anymore, and has just gone further and further into crisis, and has submitted an application to us. For example, he said, this month I sold 31 of my personal items to raise 300 Rand to buy some groceries. Wow. So we step in and we provide $500, $1,000, whatever it might be, pay his medical aid contribution so that we can just keep him going. We've had other people whose bond we've paid so that their house doesn't get repossessed the next month. A guy who was a freelancer, couldn't afford to insure his equipment, it all got stolen and he couldn't trade anymore. So we helped him replace his equipment. So it's anything that we can determine is a crisis in need of our support.
And how's it funded?
We are fundamentally funded through two particular avenues. We do fundraising events nationally throughout the year, everything from golf days, which are serious golf days, to crazy golf days, to 10-pin bowling, village cricket, spring balls, all sorts of things. People come along, pay entrance fees, we do auctions, we raise funds that way. Then we have members who pay membership fees, and we have corporate donors who pay annual corporate donations, and we have ad hoc donations as well.
So who can belong to this fund?
Well, pretty much anybody. Membership is open to anyone who cares to join. I mean, the fund is designed to look after a series of industry sectors that are closely related one to another, and therefore typically we have members and applicants from those industry sectors, but really it's open to anyone who wants to join, either to join because they feel they'd like to offer their support and pay membership fees, or because they're fearful that one day they might be in a crisis and might need to rely on the fund, and they want to have been a part of it so that they're claiming from something they've helped to build. You've
just recently gone through a rebranding campaign. Take us through that.
Well, we had an identity that had done its job, but it was a little tired and needed some refreshing. It needed to be a bit more relevant and contemporary. But also we had an issue with the name. We were called the Advertising Benevolent Fund.
That's right.
Benevolent is part of old language. People had difficulty understanding what it meant. Also, it's not just advertising. It's advertising, media, marketing, communications, branding, And we felt that because the fund has always been known as the ABF for such a long time, why not just go through a process of renaming ourselves formally the ABF? Let's get rid of people having to question what all those words mean. We are the ABF, we're known as that. And we've put a really exciting, fresh, vibrant visual theme to that's very contemporary and very relevant to the industry sectors that we serve.
Excellent. And lastly, take us through the process. So I would like to be part of the fund. What happens?
Do you mean you want to become a member, or you want to claim?
A member.
Membership is incredibly simple and incredibly cheap. From an individual point of view, I think it's 340 Rand a year.
Right.
You then get access to a system called Discounted Lifestyle, where you get immense discounts on everything you can imagine, from flowers to car hire to flights to hotel accommodation to you name it. Pretty much everything's in there. So members can recoup their entire annual fees from one discount. It's that ridiculous. So it's very, very beneficial. There are other things like they get access to lifeline counselling if they need it, debt counselling. A whole host of that kind of support becomes available to them. And then, of course, if they need to claim from the fund, then they can do so. And joining is absolutely simple. It's just a question of going to www.abf.co.za and following the links, and clicking join us, filling the form, and on you go. It's as simple as can possibly be. And corporate donors really just get in contact and say, hey, we'd like to be a donor organisation, which is a little different to being a member, and our guys get in touch and make it happen. Yeah.